This audiobook will help you take control of your life. No motivation hype. By David Russo. Chapter 1. Escaping Brainrot. How constant digital noise quietly kills momentum, and why noticing it is the first real upgrade. Picture this for a moment. You open your eyes in the morning. The day is untouched. Time is on your side. There's potential sitting right there, waiting for you to step into it. And before you even stand up, your hand reaches for your phone. One glance turns into another, then another. Suddenly, time slips. When you finally look away, something feels off, like the day already weighs more than it should. That weight has a name. Brainrot. Brainrot isn't a character flaw. It's not laziness or lack of willpower. It's what happens when your attention, your most valuable asset, is slowly drained by an endless stream of distractions. Rapid videos, outrage cycles, highlight reels, opinions stacked on opinions. Everything pulling at you, all at once. Here's what rarely gets said out loud. Brainrot doesn't make you stupid. It makes you stagnant. Endless scrolling conditions your mind to crave reward without effort, stimulation without direction, emotion without purpose. Each swipe delivers a small spark of novelty, never enough to fulfill you, but enough to keep you hooked. When you stop, you don't feel refreshed. You feel dull, foggy, behind schedule in a way you can't explain. That fog is predictable. It's the result of consuming far more than you create. Your brain reshapes itself around what you repeatedly expose it to. Feed it noise, and it learns noise. Feed it comparison, and it learns discontent. Feed it doom scrolling, and it learns passivity, because you're always responding, never deciding. That's the real snare. Doom scrolling blurs the line between observing and living, between understanding and acting, between being occupied and actually progressing. But on some level, you already know this. You don't need more input. You need more direction. That's where awareness comes in. Not deleting every app. Not swearing off technology forever. Not making extreme promises that collapse in a week. Just awareness. The instant you recognize, this is costing me something, control starts returning. The moment you notice, I didn't choose this, I drifted into it, you snap back into the driver's seat. And that shift matters. Once you see brainrot clearly, as low-value input with a high hidden tax, you stop shaming yourself and start adjusting your surroundings. You realize your motivation didn't vanish. It was smothered under constant stimulation. Motivation grows in quiet. Focus needs room to breathe. Confidence develops when your thoughts aren't crowded by everyone else's voice. Ask yourself, when was the last time you felt genuinely energized by something you were creating? Not consuming, not reacting, creating. Something personal, something gradual, something that belonged to you. Doom scrolling dulls that feeling by keeping your emotions constantly overstimulated. Anger, envy, amusement, anxiety. Bad news followed by jokes, followed by more bad news. Your nervous system never settles. You're perpetually alert, but rarely intentional. And an exhausted mind doesn't aim high. It just keeps scrolling. Breaking free from brain rot doesn't begin with discipline. It begins with respect. Respect for your attention. Respect for the person you're becoming. Respect for the reality that your mind was never meant to process the entire internet before breakfast. Each time you hesitate before opening an app, you create space. And that space is choice. And choice is freedom. You don't have to change everything today. Just start noticing what drains you instead of refueling you. Notice which apps you open automatically. Notice how you feel afterward. Restless, empty, overstimulated? That's information, not guilt. Information. From there, the next steps become clearer, not effortless, but straightforward. Swap even a small portion of scrolling for something stabilizing. A walk, writing a paragraph, stretching, planning tomorrow, talking to someone face to face. Anything that brings you back into your body and back into your own life. Because real progress doesn't come from watching other people exist. It comes from stepping back into your own narrative. This chapter isn't about blame. It's about reclaiming agency. You aren't broken. Your attention has just been rented out too cheaply. And when you start taking it back, clumsily, imperfectly, you'll feel the shift. More presence, more appetite for life, more quiet confidence that your life isn't content to be consumed, but a project to be built. Brainrot weakens when purpose returns. Doom scrolling loses power when depth replaces dopamine. This is the start, not of a flawless system, not of instant self-control, but of awareness. And awareness is the first real move toward taking your life back. Chapter 2. Touch grass, literally and mentally. Reconnecting with real life, real goals, and real confidence. At some point, touch grass became an insult, a joke, a way to dismiss someone who seemed out of touch with reality. But here's the truth no one laughs about. Touching grass is actually good advice. Not because the world online is fake, but because it's incomplete. You were not designed to live entirely in your head, or on a screen, or inside other people's opinions. You were designed to move, to feel sunlight on your skin, to hear your own thoughts without interruption. When that connection breaks, something subtle but important goes missing. That something is grounded confidence. Real life has weight to it. Resistance. Feedback. When you lift something heavy, walk somewhere far, build something slowly, or speak to someone face to face, your brain recalibrates. It remembers, I exist. I can act. I can handle things. That's what touching grass really means, literally and mentally. It means coming back to reality. Online, confidence is performative, loud, edited, filtered. Offline, confidence is quiet, stable, earned. You don't get it by thinking about becoming better. You get it by doing small, real things consistently. A walk without headphones, cleaning your space, showing up when it's uncomfortable, trying something and being bad at it, publicly or privately, and surviving anyway. These moments don't go viral, but they change you. When you spend too much time disconnected from the physical world, your goals start to feel abstract, vague, overwhelming. You plan endlessly but act rarely. You compare constantly but progress slowly. Not because you're incapable, but because your nervous system is overloaded. Touching grass is a reset. It tells your brain, we are safe. We are here. We are moving. And movement creates momentum. Mentally touching grass means stepping out of imaginary pressure. The pressure to be perfect. The pressure to have everything figured out. The pressure to perform a version of yourself instead of becoming one. You don't need to win the internet. You need to win your mornings, your afternoons, your habits when no one is watching. Real goals don't live in comment sections. They live in calendars, in routines, in boring repetition. When you reconnect with real life, your confidence stops being borrowed. It becomes built. You stop needing constant validation because you have evidence. Evidence that you can follow through, adapt, and grow. That's why touching grass feels uncomfortable at first. Silence exposes you. Stillness forces honesty. But on the other side of that discomfort is clarity. You start to hear your own voice again. Not the algorithm, not the trend, not the outrage of the day, just you. And that voice knows what you want. It knows what matters. It knows what you've been avoiding. Confidence doesn't come from hype. It comes from alignment. When your actions match your values, even imperfectly, you feel solid. You don't need to prove yourself as much. You don't need to posture. You don't need to pretend. Touch grass doesn't mean abandoning ambition. It means grounding it. Big dreams need real roots. So go outside. Walk. Breathe. Lift something. Build something. Talk to someone without a screen between you. Let your body remind your mind that progress is physical before it's philosophical. And mentally, step back from the noise. You don't have to react to everything. You don't have to carry every opinion. You don't have to be on all the time. Presence is power. When you're present, you stop rushing. When you stop rushing, you make better decisions. When you make better decisions, confidence follows naturally. Not loud confidence. Not fake confidence. The kind that doesn't shake when things get quiet. Touch grass. Not as a joke, but as a strategy. Because the more you reconnect with real life, the less you feel lost. And the less you feel lost, the easier it becomes to move forward. Calm, steady, and fully grounded in who you're becoming. Chapter 2, Bonus. Touch grass, but don't get lost in the weeds. There was a time when tune in, drop out sounded like enlightenment. Turn on your mind. Tune into something bigger. Drop out of the noise of society. And for a while, that felt like freedom. But somewhere along the way, dropping out became drifting. Tuning in became overthinking. And expansion turned into disconnection. We didn't just leave bad systems. We left our bodies. Touching grass isn't about rejecting imagination or creativity. It's about keeping a root system. You can touch grass mentally without getting lost in the weeds. I remember being in gym class as a kid. A girl was staring at the ceiling, completely somewhere else. The teacher yelled, "Stacy, come back to earth." That line stuck with me. She wasn't doing anything wrong. She was just gone, mentally floating while her body stood on a polished gym floor. The teacher didn't want her inspired. He wanted her present. That's the tension we all live in. We're told to dream, but not drift. To imagine, but not disappear. To think, but not detach. Touching grass mentally doesn't mean shutting down thought. It means keeping thought connected to reality. Because you can lose yourself two ways: by escaping life, or by narrowing it too much. I learned that the hard way while working on funny patrol comics that you can find on Amazon by David Russo. For years, that project became everything. It wasn't unhealthy at first. It was focused, creative, obsessive in a productive way. But eventually, it crowded out everything else. My routines, my balance, my sense of who I was outside the work. And when it ended, I didn't feel free. I felt unmoored. Like I'd been orbiting something for so long that when it disappeared, gravity went with it. That's when I realized touching grass isn't just about taking breaks. It's about maintaining contact with life while you build. Go outside, but also come back to yourself. Create, but don't vanish inside the creation. Think deeply, but return to the body that's doing the thinking. Touch grass is good advice. Not because ambition is bad, but because ambition without grounding turns into obsession, anxiety, or emptiness. Grass reminds you, you are here. You exist outside your thoughts. There is a world responding to you in real time. And when your feet stay on the ground, your dreams don't shrink. They stabilize. Chapter 3: Slop versus Substance. Learning to recognize low-quality inputs and choosing what actually helps you grow. Before we dive in, here's a quick reality check. This audiobook wasn't made to entertain you with noise or keep you hooked for hours. Every word you're hearing right now is designed to give you substance, insights, strategies, and perspectives that you can actually apply to your life. That's intentional. Growth doesn't come from empty stimulation. It comes from inputs that stretch you, challenge you, and leave you thinking or acting afterward. That's what we're about here: substance over slop. Now let's talk about what that really means. Most of what we consume daily, content, conversations, habits, even some relationships, is slop. Slop is anything that fills your attention, triggers emotion, or keeps you busy without actually building you. It's the clickbait headlines, the viral outrage posts, the performative advice that feels exciting but doesn't change a thing. Slop is loud, fast, and addictive, but at the end of the day, it leaves you empty, distracted, and drained. Substance, by contrast, is quiet but powerful. Substance stretches your skills, deepens your thinking, and grows your confidence. It may not feel instantly thrilling, but over time it compounds. Substance is practicing a skill when no one is watching. It's reading something that challenges your perspective. It's acting on a small, meaningful goal instead of endlessly planning. It's creating, learning, reflecting, and building. These are the inputs that turn potential into progress. Here's the tricky part. Slop is engineered to be addictive. Your brain craves novelty, emotional spikes, and validation. That's why so many people spend hours online feeling busy but not productive, entertained but not fulfilled. It feels like momentum, but it's a trap. You're reacting instead of acting. You're consuming instead of creating. The antidote is awareness. Not shame, not extreme deprivation. Awareness. Every time you reach for your phone, open a tab, or engage with content, ask, is this slop or is this substance? Slop drains. Substance fuels. And here's a secret. Substance often looks boring at first. Reading a page instead of scrolling a feed. Practicing quietly instead of showing off. Doing small, consistent actions that no one notices. That's the work. That's the growth. That's the foundation that compounds into real confidence, real skill, and real results. Performative habits, doing things for likes, validation, or appearances, are slop disguised as achievement. They burn energy but leave nothing lasting. True progress happens in private, in the quiet repetition of actions that align with your goals. You don't need to broadcast growth to grow. It's built one deliberate choice at a time. So here's a simple exercise. Notice your daily inputs. Call out slop when you see it. Replace it with substance. Read, learn, practice, or create. Have real conversations. Take small but intentional actions toward your goals. Over time, these small choices stack faster than you think. Slop is easy. Substance is intentional. Slop satisfies temporarily. Substance transforms permanently. And that's why this audiobook itself is built with substance in mind. Every word you hear, every idea presented, is meant to leave your brain sharper, your habits stronger, and your confidence steadier. The people who rise above distractions aren't extraordinary. They're just disciplined in their inputs. They feed themselves what matters. Your brain, your body, your future self, they're all listening. Feed them well. Stop consuming slop. Start absorbing substance. Because the moment you choose substance over slop, you reclaim control over your time, your energy, and your potential. And that is where real growth begins. Chapter 4. Rage bait isn't your fuel. How outrage culture hijacks your focus, and how calm discipline beats anger every time. It's everywhere. Every notification, every headline, every viral clip seems designed to make you angry, to trigger you, to pull you in. This is rage bait, content engineered to hijack your emotions, to hook your attention, and to keep you reacting instead of acting. And here's the harsh truth. Rage feels powerful. It feels like energy. It feels like momentum. When someone pisses you off online, it's easy to convince yourself that your outrage is motivation. But real energy, real motivation, doesn't come from reacting. It comes from creating, building, and moving forward on your own terms. Rage bait is a trap. When you feed it, your brain goes into survival mode. Stress hormones spike. Your focus scatters. Your creativity shuts down. Every minute spent scrolling through anger is a minute taken from your goals, your growth, your life. And the worst part? Rage is fleeting. It burns fast and leaves exhaustion behind. You feel busy, but you've actually achieved nothing. You've just traded your peace for someone else's agenda. Here's the thing. Being angry doesn't make you productive. Being outraged doesn't make you strong. Calm discipline does. Quiet focus does. Repeated action toward your goals does. Think about the people who truly succeed. Artists, entrepreneurs, athletes, leaders. They don't ride waves of outrage. They channel energy consistently, deliberately, toward what they want. They don't need anger to motivate them. Their motivation is deeper, more sustainable. It's fueled by vision, not virality. By purpose, not provocation. That doesn't mean ignoring injustice or walking blindly through the world. It means recognizing when emotional hijacking is happening and choosing response over reaction. It means taking a breath, stepping back, and asking, is this serving me? Or is it serving someone else's agenda? Every time you engage with rage bait, you're lending your energy to a system that profits from your distraction. Your time, focus, and mental clarity are the most valuable things you have, and they're being stolen one angry scroll at a time. Here's a practice to fight back. The moment something triggers outrage, pause. Don't click. Don't comment. Don't argue. Take a breath. Ask yourself, what action can I take today that actually improves my life? Even small steps, a task completed, a skill practiced, a goal advanced, are more powerful than any viral outrage cycle. Calm discipline isn't flashy. It isn't loud. It doesn't get retweets. But it works. It compounds. It builds resilience, focus, and real power over your own life. And when you are calm, deliberate, and consistent, you become untouchable by the chaos others try to throw at you. Rage can't manipulate you because you are moving on a higher plane, one of control, clarity, and purpose. The people who win long-term aren't the ones shouting the loudest. They're the ones showing up, day after day, stacking progress quietly, letting their results speak while the world yells. You can choose to be one of them. So next time the screen lights up with something designed to enrage you, remember, anger is a tool, but only when you wield it consciously. Otherwise, it's a leash. Don't let anyone else take control of your energy. Don't let outrage dictate your day, your focus, or your future. Rage bait isn't your fuel. Your vision, your discipline, and your deliberate actions are. Feed those. Protect those. Build on those. And every time you choose calm over chaos, you reclaim a little more control, a little more freedom, and a little more momentum toward the life you actually want. Peace is power. Discipline is power. And the moment you stop feeding rage, you begin to live untethered and unstoppable. Chapter 5. Quiet quitting your bad habits. You don't need a dramatic transformation. Just stop feeding what holds you back. Here's a truth few people say out loud. You don't always need to level up in a loud, dramatic, all-or-nothing way. Growth isn't fireworks. It's quiet. It's subtle. It's relentless. And often, the single most powerful move you can make is simply stop feeding what's holding you back. That's what I mean by quiet quitting your bad habits. Bad habits are sneaky. They're not always obvious. Sometimes they look productive. Sometimes they feel comforting. Sometimes they hide behind clever excuses. I'll start tomorrow. Just this once. Everyone does it. But day after day, those small, unchallenged habits stack. They drain your energy. They sap your focus. They slow your momentum. Quiet quitting is different from grand declarations. You don't need a dramatic announcement or a viral post about your new life. You don't need to yell at yourself or make impossible rules. You simply stop feeding the things that weaken you. Skip the extra scroll. Stop tolerating performative distractions and the small compromises that eat your confidence. And here's the magic. The moment you stop, something shifts. Not immediately, not in a headline-worthy way, but slowly, your energy returns. Your attention sharpens. Your motivation reappears. You start moving through life with fewer leaks, more focus, and more control over your outcomes. Quiet quitting is a skill. It's patience wrapped in awareness. It's noticing patterns. What habits leave me tired, anxious, or stuck? Then refusing, consciously, to feed them. No guilt, no drama, just quiet withdrawal of attention, time, and energy. Think of your energy like a budget. Every habit, every action, every thought costs something. Stop investing in the ones that give zero return. Reallocate that energy to habits that actually build you, creating, learning, moving, growing. The math is simple. The results are undeniable. Here's an example. Maybe you scroll social media late at night. That habit alone doesn't seem catastrophic. But multiplied by weeks, months, years, it steals sleep, focus, and confidence. Quiet quitting doesn't demand heroics. It just asks, do I want this habit to control my life? When the answer is no, you stop. That's it. Simple, powerful, transformative. The beauty of quiet quitting is its subtlety. Because life doesn't reward noise, it rewards consistency. The habit you refuse to feed today is the foundation for the habit you create tomorrow. One less destructive habit, compounded over weeks, months, and years, becomes freedom, clarity, and unstoppable momentum. You don't need to announce your growth. You don't need approval or validation. You need discipline. You need awareness. You need courage, the quiet kind that doesn't shout but keeps moving forward regardless of who notices. Every habit you stop feeding is a victory. Every habit you replace with a choice that builds you is progress. Every moment you reclaim energy from something toxic is proof. You are stronger than your impulses, more capable than your distractions, and more in control of your life than the world wants you to believe. So today, start quiet quitting. Not loudly, not perfectly, just decisively. Withdraw attention from what drains you. Pull back from what keeps you small. Step away from what steals your power. And watch how quickly your life begins to expand in the space you create. Growth is quiet. Freedom is quiet. Real strength is quiet. And every time you stop feeding the bad habits, you move a little closer to the person you were always meant to become. Chapter 6. The Sigma Myth and the Truth. Why real independence isn't about isolation. It's about self-trust and consistency. The internet loves labels. Alpha, beta, omega, sigma. And suddenly, everyone wants to be the Sigma, the lone wolf, the mysterious icon of independence who answers to no one, feels no need to explain themselves, and thrives in complete isolation. It sounds appealing, cool, untouchable, almost heroic. But here's the truth. The Sigma myth is just that, a myth. Real independence isn't about shutting the world out. It isn't about loneliness or rebellion for the sake of it. True independence comes from self-trust, clarity, and consistent action, not from pretending you don't need anyone or anything. Think about it. A lone wolf alone isn't powerful, he's vulnerable. A wolf in a pack thrives because of strategy, skill, and support. Independence doesn't mean being disconnected from life. It means being anchored in yourself so that connections, collaborations, and challenges don't control you, they serve you. The Sigma mindset teaches you to stop relying on validation, noise, and external approval. That part is real. But if you interpret it as stop showing up, stop communicating, stop building relationships. You're missing the point. Independence is about internal authority, knowing your values, trusting your decisions, and showing up consistently regardless of external chaos. Consistency is the quiet superpower no one talks about. The Sigma myth glamorizes mystery and isolation, but what actually builds freedom, respect, and influence is showing up day after day, aligned with your goals, no matter who notices. That's where true power lives. Here's another truth. Independence doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean never failing or never needing help. It means trusting yourself enough to own your choices, face consequences, and keep moving forward. It means setting boundaries with energy, attention, and relationships so you can protect what matters most. If you want to be Sigma in the real sense, start here. Trust yourself before you seek approval. Make decisions that align with your values, not the trends. Build habits that strengthen your body, mind, and focus consistently. Engage with people and opportunities intentionally, not out of fear or boredom. Being independent isn't about withdrawing. It's about showing up for yourself in every situation. It's about making choices that serve your vision, not other people's expectations. It's quiet. It's patient. It's powerful. Isolation doesn't make you a Sigma. Self-trust does. Calm discipline does. Repeated action does. Confidence in your path does. And the beautiful part? The more anchored you become in yourself, the less chaos in the world can shake you. The less you need validation. The more energy you have for what actually matters. So let go of the myth. Stop chasing an image of independence that doesn't exist. Instead, build real Sigma, the kind grounded in reality, anchored in self-trust, and amplified by consistent action. Because real power isn't about how mysterious you are. It's about how reliable, focused, and unstoppable you are, day after day, choice after choice, moment after moment. True independence isn't a persona. It's a lifestyle. And it starts the moment you decide to trust yourself, act deliberately, and stop giving your energy away to illusions. Chapter 7. Build Real Riz. Confidence isn't loud or fake. It's built through competence, kindness, and clarity. You've probably heard the term Riz tossed around online. Charisma, charm, the ability to draw people in effortlessly. But let me tell you something that most people don't. Real Riz isn't about smooth lines, loud confidence, or performing for attention. Real Riz is quiet. It's consistent. It's rooted in substance, not spectacle. True confidence isn't an act. It isn't a mask you wear to impress someone for 5 minutes. It's a reflection of your competence, your clarity, and your kindness. It comes from showing up as yourself, fully present, without needing approval. Real Riz is magnetic because it's authentic. It's trustworthy. It's a byproduct of actually being capable and grounded. Here's the thing. People can spot fake energy instantly. They sense when confidence is performative, when it's loud but empty. But they are drawn to someone who has skills, decisiveness, and composure. You don't need to hype yourself up. You need to invest in yourself, quietly, consistently, and intentionally. Competence builds confidence. Competence builds presence. Presence builds Riz. Think about it like this. The person who masters a skill, who can hold a conversation, who can solve problems, and who respects others will naturally draw people in. They don't need scripts. They don't need performance. Their energy radiates competence, and people feel it. That's real Riz. That's lasting influence. Kindness is equally critical. Real Riz doesn't steamroll over others or seek to dominate every interaction. It's not about manipulation or ego. It's about making people feel seen, respected, and valued. When you combine competence with kindness, you become someone people want to be around, listen to, and trust. Confidence without kindness is arrogance. Kindness without confidence is meekness. Real Riz balances both. Clarity ties it all together. Know who you are. Know what you want. Know your boundaries. When your intentions are clear, you stop second-guessing yourself. You stop performing to fill a gap. Clarity allows your confidence to shine because it's anchored in truth. Here's the actionable part. Building real Riz isn't about changing your personality overnight. It's about incremental growth. Learn something new. Step into situations that challenge you. Speak your truth with composure. Treat people well, even when it's inconvenient. And practice consistency. Small, repeated actions compound into genuine presence and influence. Stop trying to impress. Start building. Stop performing. Start improving. Stop seeking validation. Start creating evidence of your competence and character. Over time, these small choices stack into something undeniable: presence, confidence, and yes, real riz. The world is full of fake bravado, loud personas, and hollow charm. But real riz isn't loud. It's quiet. It's earned. It's sustainable. It doesn't fade after a conversation ends or a post is forgotten. It lives in your skills, your composure, and your integrity. So if you want to build real riz, start here. Master yourself first. Show kindness without expecting anything in return. Clarify your goals and values. Take consistent, deliberate action toward competence. Riz isn't a trick. It's not something you borrow. It's something you grow. And the moment you do, the people, opportunities, and energy you attract are not random. They are aligned with the real, confident, capable person you've become. Chapter 8: Delulu versus Vision. When believing in yourself helps, and when it's time to pair confidence with action. There's a fine line between believing in yourself and being, well, delulu. Delulu, short for delusional, happens when confidence isn't anchored in reality. It's when you convince yourself that desire equals progress or hope equals results. You dream, you hype yourself up, but nothing moves forward. And while optimism feels good in the moment, without action it becomes a trap. Vision, on the other hand, is rooted in clarity. Vision sees where you are, where you want to go, and the path that connects the two. It acknowledges challenges without being defeated by them. It combines belief with strategy, confidence with effort, and hope with relentless execution. Vision isn't flashy. It isn't loud, but it's unstoppable. Here's the distinction. Delulu is thinking you can achieve everything without doing anything. Vision is thinking you can achieve everything, and then planning, acting, and adjusting until you do. Delulu lives in fantasy. Vision lives in reality. And while fantasy feels exciting, only reality builds results. Belief alone doesn't move mountains, but belief plus action does. You can chant affirmations, imagine success, and hype yourself up all day, but if your habits, decisions, and energy don't line up with your goals, it's just noise. That's Delulu. Vision is the rare combination of internal confidence and external consistency. Here's a simple way to check yourself. Ask, am I doing something today that my future self will thank me for? If the answer is yes, you're moving toward vision. If the answer is no, you're flirting with Delulu, and that's okay. Awareness is the first step. The power of vision comes from alignment. Thoughts, feelings, and actions all pointing in the same direction. Every choice becomes a building block. Every setback becomes a lesson. Every small win compounds. Over time, vision creates momentum that Delulu can never touch. Vision also keeps you honest. It forces you to assess where you are, what you can control, and how to adjust. It doesn't let excuses live unchecked. It doesn't reward procrastination. It doesn't depend on hype. Vision thrives in clarity, patience, and deliberate action. This doesn't mean you can't dream big. It doesn't mean you can't imagine impossible outcomes. You absolutely should. Dreaming fuels motivation. But dreams without discipline are illusions. Dreams without habits are empty promises. Dreaming is the spark. Vision is the fire you build with repeated effort. So the next time you feel the thrill of possibility, ask yourself, am I being Delulu? Or am I cultivating vision? Am I just hoping, or am I doing? Am I imagining what could happen, or am I taking steps to make it happen? The moment you pair belief with consistent action, magic starts to happen. The impossible starts to feel inevitable. Remember, confidence without strategy is fantasy. Belief without action is wasted energy. But confidence plus clarity plus relentless execution, that's vision. That's what turns dreams into reality. That's what separates people who talk from people who build. The world rewards vision, not delusion. The world respects action more than hype. And the life you want isn't found in wishful thinking. It's found in daily choices, repeated effort, and the courage to pair your belief with unshakable action. So dream boldly, but act deliberately. That's how you step out of Delulu and step into your vision. And once you do, nothing, not doubt, not distraction, not fear, can stop you from becoming exactly who you're meant to be. Chapter 9: Vibe Coding Your Life. Designing routines, goals, and habits that work with your personality, not against it. Your life isn't just something that happens to you. It's something you create. And yet, most people drift. They copy what others do, chase trends, follow rules that aren't theirs, and wonder why their energy feels drained, their motivation inconsistent, and their progress slow. That's where vibe coding comes in. Designing your life to match your own energy, personality, and strengths so that every choice, habit, and routine works with you, not against you. Vibe coding isn't about laziness. It's about efficiency, alignment, and flow. It's about setting up systems where your natural tendencies aren't obstacles, they're superpowers. You don't need to fight yourself to succeed. You need to design your environment, routines, and goals so they amplify your energy instead of depleting it. Here's the core principle. Energy follows intention, but habits follow design. If you structure your day, your mindset, and your environment intentionally, you make it easier to win by default. The small, repeated actions you take when your system supports you add up faster than random bursts of effort ever could. That's vibe coding in action. Start with awareness. Notice how your energy flows throughout the day. When are you sharpest? When do you feel most motivated? When do distractions hit hardest? Once you understand your natural rhythm, you can align tasks, focus periods, and rest with it instead of fighting it. Work with your energy cycles, not against them. Next, curate your inputs. The people you follow, the media you consume, the environment you inhabit, they all shape your mental vibe. Feed yourself content, relationships, and experiences that energize and challenge you. Cut out what drains you. Every habit, every interaction, every piece of information should either build you or be removed from your system. Then, design your outputs. Set goals that feel achievable yet ambitious. Build routines that reinforce those goals. Stack habits strategically so progress compounds. Vibe coding isn't about perfection, it's about alignment. Every action should feel natural, like it flows from who you are and who you want to become. Here's a secret. Life coded around your vibe feels easier, but it's not easy. It demands conscious design, reflection, and experimentation. You try, you tweak, you fail, and you adjust. You observe what lifts you and what drags you. And over time, the friction decreases, the results multiply, and confidence grows because your life is no longer a series of battles. It's a system built to succeed. Vibe coding also protects you from burnout. When your routines, habits, and goals are misaligned, every effort feels like a fight. You exhaust yourself trying to conform to someone else's blueprint. But when you design your life to match your own energy, even hard work feels sustainable. Even setbacks feel like lessons instead of disasters. Imagine waking up every day with clarity, purpose, and momentum. Imagine your habits supporting your goals instead of sabotaging them. Imagine your energy flowing, not leaking. That's the power of vibe coding. It turns life from chaos into a system that works for you, not against you. So start today. Map your energy. Audit your inputs. Align your routines. Stack your habits. Design a system where your natural tendencies become your advantages. Because when your life is coded around your vibe, motivation stops being a struggle. Confidence grows naturally. Discipline becomes effortless. And every day, every action, every choice compounds into the life you actually want, without forcing yourself to be someone you're not. Your vibe is your engine. Code it right, and you'll move forward unstoppable. Chapter 10. Slay the long game. Winning isn't viral. It's quiet progress, stacked over time. Here's a truth most people don't want to hear. Success is not instant. It's not flashy. It doesn't come in viral moments, trending headlines, or overnight fame. Real achievement is built quietly, deliberately, day after day, through repeated action that compounds over time. That's what it means to slay the long game. The long game requires patience. It demands consistency. It thrives on discipline, not drama. While the world chases shortcuts, hype, and validation, long game players focus on stacking small wins. They understand that growth is a marathon, not a sprint. That every skill learned, every habit mastered, every decision made today adds to the momentum of tomorrow. Think of it like compounding interest in a bank account. Every small effort you make, reading, creating, learning, practicing, adds value. Most people underestimate how quickly the effects accumulate because they're obsessed with immediate gratification. But those who commit to the long game don't need instant recognition. They trust the process. They trust themselves. And slowly, relentlessly, they build something no viral post, hot trend, or hype cycle can match. Slaying the long game also means resisting distraction. Social media, drama, rage bait, performative habits, they all scream for attention. They promise satisfaction, but they deliver nothing lasting. To win long-term, you must prioritize what matters over what excites. You must invest in growth that compounds, not stimulation that evaporates. It's not glamorous. It's not urgent. But it works. Every time. Here's the mindset of a long game slayer. You measure progress in weeks, months, and years, not likes, views, or applause. You embrace consistency over intensity. Small, daily wins beat occasional heroics. You see setbacks not as failures, but as adjustments, lessons, and data points. You know that patience isn't passive, it's disciplined action sustained over time. Slaying the long game also builds resilience. When you focus on slow, deliberate growth, you stop chasing external validation. You stop letting chaos dictate your energy. You develop confidence that doesn't wobble with trends, opinions, or temporary successes. Every habit, every skill, every decision becomes a building block toward mastery. And here's the beautiful part. The long game doesn't just create results, it creates identity. The person who shows up consistently becomes someone who can handle bigger challenges, think clearer under pressure, and make better decisions when the stakes are high. Long game winners aren't lucky. They're prepared, patient, and disciplined. So how do you start? Commit to the smallest actions that matter today. One extra hour of focus. One skill practiced. One healthy choice made. Repeat tomorrow. And the day after. Let each small win accumulate. Let each effort compound. Ignore the hype. Ignore the distractions. Focus on your path, your growth, and your progress. Slaying the long game isn't glamorous. It's quiet. It's steady. It's relentless. But when it's done right, nothing can stop it. Over months and years, momentum builds. Skills deepen. Confidence solidifies. Opportunities align. And suddenly, the life you wanted isn't a dream. It's your reality, crafted by your own consistent effort. Remember, short-term wins fade. Viral moments vanish. But the long game? The long game endures. The long game creates mastery. The long game builds a life that's unshakable, unstoppable, and undeniably yours. Commit today. Stack your wins. Stay patient. Stay disciplined. And slay the long game. Because your future self will thank you, and the life you've been chasing will finally be within your hands.